Welcome back to Keep On Testing. I'm Darren Walker. Here we go. Lots of stuff. Man, I have more meters to review than the Pope has crosses. Thank you very much. All right, in the sheeple spotlight, we have brand new from DOCREATE. It's not a meter. No, it is a portable color screen I can't even talk. It's a portable color screen spot welder, the TK-10A in the sheeple spotlight. And a big shout out to Banggood. Thanks so much for sending the spot welder in for this review. Oh, who is that guy? I like him. I like him a lot. We did create TK-10A in the cheapo spotlight. If you saw the previous Banggood spot welder did, it was an interesting beast to say the least. Hey, that rhymes. I'm a poet and I didn't even know it. Anyway, yeah, so this one looks a little more high-end. Is it really any more high-end? Well, let's take it. Look, let's take it out of the box to begin with. I'm talking too much today. And thanks to the magic that is YouTube, we have the box opened. Look at that nice box, by the way. Hey, look at very, very chic. We get some info right on the main screen here. 1.8-inch high-definition LCD color screen, has intelligent regulation, USB power bank, dual pulse function, and maximum solder joints up to 0.3 millimeters. So right off the get-go, if you know a little bit about spot welding, you gotta know that that is not bad specs, really. Kind of a cut above. And we have that 1.8-inch high-definition LCD screen, which is definitely putting this spot welder in the next level. Okay, let's take it out of this gorgeously wrapped. I mean, look at this thing. It is super protected. We have anything under the foam? We must have something under the foam. There's always something under the foam. And yeah, there's all the goodies. Even tweezers. Well, we'll get to that in a second. Let's get right to the gusto here, shall we? Oh, wow. This is a solid unit. Wow, it is very big in the hand, too. This looks like a radio from the 70s. DOCREATE TK-10 amp, or 10A, not amp. Maybe it is amp. I don't know. 10A. Yeah, so heavy. This is a heavy little beast. I'll put it on the scale in a second, but wow. Okay. There we go. There are the connectors. We have our positive negative connector there. We have our Type-C USB cable for charging. We have our USB-A, and of course that infamous power button. All right, I'm just gonna hit the power button just because I can. And oh, we get that nice beepity beep. And look at that screen. Gene Rel, what the? Oh, General! General, not Gene Rel. Okay, it does General. Delay 1 second time. So these are the basic settings. And we have an 8.1 volt, presently fully charged battery, 20 degrees Celsius showing up. So these are the settings that it comes to, I guess, by default. And I'm just curious, is it touch? No, it's not touchscreen, so we're gonna have to use that connector, not connector, the selector here, kind of like a mouse. Get through those, and we'll get into that in a second. But overall, nice and really quick to boot, and to turn it off. Boom! It is powered off. Okay, let's see what else is in this proverbial box of goodies here. We have, oh, look at that. That is probably, if you want to weld batteries, 18650s perhaps. Look at that. That's a nice joint connector. What else do we have here? Another one. Cool. What else do we have? Oh, we have a file. We get a file, a pretty decent one too, because having a good smooth connection is important when you are spot welding. You don't want anything, messy or stubbly or bubbly. You want to have that surface nice and clean, and definitely filing it down is going to help create a really nice clean weld. What else do we have here? Let's put the box down. Our infamous USB-C to USB-A connector. And there is some of our nickel welding wire. And we have a couple of, looks like brass or copper connectors, I guess, that go onto the unit. We'll look at that in a second. What else do we have here? Geez, this is like unlimited. There is the main. Well, not the main. That's one of your test leads. And wow, this is solid. Look at the gauge wire on this. Good gracious. And it looks like it's gold tipped as well. That is a very high quality lead. And here's the other one. And not color coded either. So check it out. Very, very nice. Wow. To check the gauge on that in a second, but well, there we are, 8 AWG. There's our gauge, rated up to 200 degrees Celsius, so they should be extremely robust. And we get a little bit of desiccant, as well as our user manual in Chinese. Is it in English too? Please be in English. Yes, it is. English and Chinese. Spot welding modes. All of your info, 1.8-inch TFT, color screen, ABS, acrylic silica is the shell, the exterior housing. Product size 153 by 80 millimeter, 273 grams, Type-C input, and welding current up to 1,200 amp max. Ooh. More info on the back. I really like these color picks. Oh, this is the Chinese version, so let's just go back to the English. And so it's basically a big pamphlet, but portable color screen, spot welder, indicator lights, switch key, discharge bus, USB-A discharging, pen holders, everything here. Premium looking unit though, gotta say, compared to the last one that I reviewed, once again, this is definitely a step above, and hopefully it's gonna be a little more reliable, because that last one had a lot of interesting little idiosyncrasies to it, then that's putting it mildly. I don't know, it's not turning on idiosyncrasy. Anyway, all right, so there you go, everything in the box. Let's put those test leads in and see what this baby has. I'm talking about the spot welder. Okay, now I did say we're going to weigh this, so let's give it a little weigh, shall we? A little heavier than what it said in the manual, 322 or 23 grams. 323 grams. There you go. Ja, und der clean spot welder is a happy spot welder, ja. Wunderbar. By the way, jump the gun, there wasn't tweezers, it was just this chiseling tip that I thought was a pair of tweezers initially. My bad. Those little bracket holders are two different shapes. This one fits those 18650s perfectly. But, well, usually. Okay, here we go, taking a look at that main interface, the menu per se, and boy, there's a lot of different icons going on here. We are right now in the sub menu. So here we have our specialized settings such as the world time, device ID, the version number, running version 1.0 as you can see. Now, I don't see any mention here about a firmware upgradable unit. Stay tuned. If I can find out more info on that, I'll let you know. All right, language right now set to English. You have tons of different languages here. Chinese, amongst others, and let's just keep going down. Direction, sleep mode, temperature. So once again, these are all of those subset menus, not part of the regular main interface. Okay, now let's get into the main interface. This is the one you're going to be in 99% of the time. So we have lots of stuff from gears, the protect, the spot welding current, delayed output, preheating time, the whole 9 yards. So we have it set right now on the gear mode, and you can see it goes up to 99. Highest gear is basically the highest pulse, so that's going to give you the biggest oomph or power output on those welding tips when you're spot welding. Just take note of that. Normally, I think leaving it in that 70 to 75 range is the way to go, unless you're doing something specialized, you need some extra power. But yeah, we might take a look at that high power just for the sake of it when I'm doing some spot welding. something called the smart mode, and here we have the different articles. So your welding article per se, what type of sheet metal we're using, the nickel plated, and the thickness as well, thickness of the connecting piece. So output energy also in joules, down below 85 joules, 70 joules. So you have a lot of user control here with that main interface when you're in smart mode. Pretty cool. Just so you know, there is a protective layer on the top of that screen. I'm just going to leave it on for now. Honestly, it has no bearing in terms of the display visibility at all. It's just a protective layer. You know, with the sparks flying, always kind of a good thing to have a little bit of protection. Okay, hey, something I figured out. Guess what? On the fly, I didn't even realize this thing. Boy, wouldn't it be nice if this had a tilt stand? Well, lo and behold, yep, it has a tilt stand. Super handy. I didn't even think of looking for one. So, very good. Great job, DOCREATE, for giving us a tilt stand for our spot welder. All right, going to put in those spot welding leads, and they go in with very little effort, but boy, they are in there snug. Very, very snug. Now, remember, when you're welding, you want to make sure that your interval level is what you're welding on. Now, it does come with that nickel plating sheet, and that's a good thing. So you want to make sure your pulse setting reflects the thickness of that nickel plating. Let's say you have a 1.2 millimeter nickel plated sheet. The pulse should be somewhere around 7. So that's going to give you the best throughput or output. So it's going to take a little playing with. This is one of those tools where I think the more you use it, the better you're going to get with it. So practice, in this case, will make perfect. Hey, that's not a bad thing either. Recording. Jeez. Okay, let's turn on the spot welder, TK-10A. By the way, on the top there, we've got that little power on button. For some reason, I keep hitting that scroll connector to turn it on. I don't know, it looks like a power on, doesn't it? But it's not. That power is on the very top of the unit. Okay, look at how firm and snug those leads are sitting in that welder. Oh. Now I'm trying to find the right size for those 18650s. Those two brackets are different, so one is bigger than the other. There we go. That is the right size bracket for that 18650. I'm going to line up a couple of them here, maybe 2 or 3, just to give us a general good get-go of what it's going to be like to spot weld. Let's find another 18650. Here we go. Where is it? Where's that darn battery? There it is. Okay. And I'm going to stick that in the same bracket. Another identical 650. Now here's a good example of what that file is for. Look at that. I'm going to do a little filing here, just on the top, just to get it a little smoothed out, a little bit better. And preferably don't want to do this over your spot welder like I'm doing, but anyway. And that's what the file is for. So you want to make sure you have a smooth surface as possible before you apply that nickel plating, because it's what's going to make that hold nice and tight. So, this is just a little test here, so I'm not going to get too worried up about this. But great example there of what that file is for. Okay, so I'm putting 2 batteries in the bracket. Yeah, maybe I'll do one more. Hang on. Got a third here somewhere. There we go. 3 batteries. I think that should be enough for a good general look-see at how well this spot welder does. Alrighty. Nice and firm in the brackets. Let's turn the spot welder on, and I'm going to turn this on, and I'm just going to do that spot welding on the default settings. I'm not going to play with anything. I'm going to let that default gear mode, I think it was at 74, 75. That's what we're going to use for this test. And like I said, playing with this is the way you're going to learn. So don't be shy. And there's the nickel plating that the unit comes with. Quite a lot, actually. Good supply of nickel plating there going on. And those are the little tips for the test probes. Kind of hard to see. Get it into focus. There we go. So yeah, replacement tips comes with 2 of them. And hey, that's nice to see. So, you have some good long-term reliability here. Extra tips. Lots of nickel. You might not need to get anything else if you're just a casual spot welder. But, you know, hey, your mileage may vary. All right, here's that nickel strip. I'm going to pull it off. I'm going to set it down on that bracket. I got to say, having these brackets really makes your life a little simpler as well. It makes that kind of stationary surface easier to work with. And I'm just going to cut that nickel with my little wire cutters. I'm going to try to anyway. There we go. All right, have that nickel strip in place. I'm going to turn on the spot welder. And we are going to do our first spot welding with the 10A. All right, here we go. Oh yeah, nice, nice. Well, you know, you can feel that. Nice, very nice. You can feel the power coming in through those probes. It's a powerful little unit. Let's do that last one here as well. Now remember, this is the default setting. Yeah. Very nice weld. Easy breezy first time. No complaints here. And once again, that is on the default gear settings and the delayed output. I haven't changed anything. Now, let's just bring up that gear a little bit and see what what's going to look like. Let's go up to 85. See if that makes any difference. All right, so we've got it set to 85. Go ahead and pull out that other link of batteries. Move this out of the way. So we brought it up a little bit. Let's see if we're gonna get any different weld. So from the low 70s up to 85 for our gear. Remember, that's the pulse output. Higher the pulse, the more power that's coming through those leads. Boom. Do it again. And boom. So I can feel it in my hands, a little more of a jolt when it's doing that solder. Or spot welding, I should say. So a little more power. It wasn't crazy powerful though. But look at that. Wow, I mean, just nice and clean, isn't it? Super clean. And yeah, that is not going anywhere. Ugh, that is in there really good. Really, really good. Considering the first time I've used this unit, I gotta say, very, very simple to operate. Nice, nice job. Clean. Now, just for the heck of it, I'm gonna put up to the highest gear, 99. And it's really overkill. And I'm just gonna put it down here on that protective mat. Let's just see what kind of output we're gonna get here. All right, 99. Oh, wow. That's some power. And yeah, yikes. Okay, maybe a little bit too much power. Alrighty, Aphrodite, it is teardown time. My favorite time. And let's start off with that outer shell. Nice, clear, clean ABS plastic. 4 Phillips screws held this bad boy together. Came off super easily. A couple of rubber stoppers on the back, but bada boom, bada bing. And once we are inside, check it out. What do you notice? Oh, yes, if you said not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 lithium-ion batteries stuck together, that is what is giving us our battery pack capabilities as well as charging this unit. Yeah, they are in there nice and tight. 1, 2, 3, 4, 3,000 milliamp hour, 1.1 watt hour batteries. Oh, very, very nice. Gotta say, they have crammed a lot into this little tiny space. Now here is that PW chip, that lithium ion charger chip right there, the PW4284. That is the lithium ion charger chip, which is in control of all that battery charging operation. And right below those chips, yeah, 1, 2, 3 NCE 30H29D MOSFETs. These are rated up to, I believe, around 300 amps. Now, technically, this is a 1200 amp device. So 1, 2, 3, that's about 900 amps on my book. N-channel silicon MOSFET, power ratings 30 volts up to 300 amps. And yeah, that is what is, you know, giving us all this power. look at that, nice and clean. We have a tiny little capacitor in there as well. Sometimes you see much larger caps, but in this case we have a standard 1000 microfarad 16-volt cap. All in all though, nice, lean, and clean. Let's put it back together. I'm going to come back with my closing thoughts. Closing thoughts of the DOCREATE TK-10A Portable Welder. Oh yes, this one is a keeper. Not only is it powerful, but it is solidly built. This is a robust little welding tool that will definitely last the test of time. That I am sure. Man, the leads on this feel so good in the hand. Whoa, high gauge wire and just a really good overall grip. I mean, very, very high-end portable welding machine. You have a ton of settings with a gorgeous little LCD screen. Color gives you all of the gears you need, whether you want low power, medium power, or you saw what high power can do. Yeah, the choice is yours, and that customizable GUI is extremely simple and intuitive, and that's important. Some of these welders, I mean, it's where to gosh, you need a degree from MIT just to figure out the basics, but not with the DOCREATE. This one is simple to use. Perhaps that screen could be a little bit bigger. That would be my only real concern. Combine that with that portable USB-C charging brick on the go. That is cool. The DOCREATE TK-10A Portable Welder gets a solid 4 out of 5 stars. Hey, if you're looking for a good quality portable welder, look no further than the TK-10A. Thanks for watching this review, everybody. Till the next one. Oh yeah, keep on testing.